what I'm hoping to find is microscopic gold in the shale. And this deposit, being a little high-grade deposit, would probably hold no interest to a mining company if it didn't have the shale around it. And I'm sure they're looking for, and which I am too, for the gold that you can't see and that will be in this shale if we're lucky.
The invisible gold?
The invisible gold that Carland and all these places have. And right now, this particular area, I do a lot of prospecting, looking at geology maps and looking for certain formations. And from what I've been reading, the dolomites and stuff are starting to carry a lot of this higher grade microscopic gold. So I'm hoping that, you know, I can look at everything I've got over again and maybe find some of that and get some better assays. So, and this stuff here hasn't been assayed because till I met John, I really didn't know what type of shale and thing to assay.
Debbie Bustos had prospected on her own for a number of years before happening upon John Livermore's website. She was soon bringing her ore samples to him for evaluation.
Can your microscopic gold be in the shales around these base metal areas?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not clear off.
No, that's true.
Out of kilter.
Around the Pinson, there we have a lot of silver and base metals.
Do you?
Sure.
If you get the right kind of shale there.
Right kind of shales, yeah.
Okay. And is it true that they are starting to find some of this in the dolomites now? And
the
some,
gold,
like,
what?
yeah, like Cortez and some of that. I've been doing a lot of reading on that.
You mean a jasperoid?
Yeah, and in the jasperoids around the dolomite type.
Arsenic's a good indication. You know, you're always,
which we don't have over there.
You're always asking about whether the sample had arsenic in it.
Yeah. Well, you told me that. So I'm keeping an eye on it. So yeah.
You can't look at everything. So our first conclusion would have to be that this particular type of mineralization is not interesting. We'd have to look for something else.
Because your company's
maybe what we're looking for is right around here somewhere. You haven't found it yet. It's just
no, but I'm going to get busy. I've got a lot of limestone that's solidified up there that I want to look at. So
Debbie, what's your next place you're going to go up in the hill there?
Yeah, back over here on this side of what I think is an anticline.
Yeah, anticline, yeah.
There's a whole bunch of jasperoid-looking limestone or whatever.
So a lot of people looking at a hill would say, hey, that just looks like a hill.
That's right. And
so what do you see when you look out there?
Well, to me, like I said, I think this right here is an anticline. Whether it is or not, it's just my guess. But and you know, if it is, and if some of that jasperoid runs, there's a possibility there could be something that filled in there, like we talked about. So, look at this old bottle here.
Oh yeah.
So this was a little bit older type stuff, huh? Yeah. I think Mary might be interested in that.
Old bottles from mine dumps yield up critical information to historical archaeologists like Mary Delamere. But the clues she's after on this expedition are more personal.
My father, T.W. Delamere, was a mining engineer and spent most of his life working in different mines in Utah and Nevada. And when he was 60, he just turned to prospecting and worked with John Livermore. So this has been great for me to get a chance to get to walk around with John and talk to him about what my father did, and get to see a little bit more of the Carlin Trend where my father found the D mine. It was a time in my life when I was really, really busy. I was working in a restaurant, I was raising children, and then I was pursuing my own career, so I really didn't have time to find out what he was doing. And this was actually the most interesting time, I think, in his mining career.
Let's see, there's a very nice bedding right there.
Now that's real red.
But you're never going to find Carlin. You have to have what they call carbonate. In other words, that's the calcareous siltstone. It means it's got carbonate in it. Or a limestone. It has to be in a rock that's got calcite in it, which is referred to as being calcareous.
So, John, what's a good-looking rock for you? What would you describe as a good-looking rock?
Well, I'd say, first of all, there are two things. I said they're rusty and they're silicified, hardened by silica.
I'm discovering that the basic geology class I took back in school has not stuck with me, and the questions I throw from behind the camera are never ending. Fortunately, John is patient and willing to share his own take on the important geological features that made mining history in Nevada. Most of us know about the silver strike in the 1860s on the Comstock, in the Virginia range not far from Reno. Lesser known are the lead strikes in Eureka, in north-central Nevada.
Here, see, I had all our file cabinets for maps there. The map drawers are on the left there. This, of course, is the site of famous Eureka mining district. Had smelters in town. At one time, this was the biggest lead producer in the United States in the 1870s and 1880s. The two mines, the Richmond and Eureka mines, are right south of us here, and they were very rich mines.
The far southern part of Nevada didn't hold much interest, but then there was Tonopah.
Well, this is a chunk of high grade here, which they apparently never mined. Just right, maybe it's too narrow, but I can tell just by looking at it that it's high grade silver.
And south of Tonopah was Goldfield.
They just punched shafts around all over the place here, and soon they had, in literally 2 or 3 years, they had literally miles of underground workings. This whole area was just a network of underground workings, looking after these high-grade pockets of gold ore.
And down the road near Beatty was another boom town, Rhyolite.
This area was all an area of volcanic rock, so people were covering this area in great detail, and they actually found the rhyolite in 1904, and it was very high grade, and there was enormous excitement because they were comparing it right away to Goldfield, and of course it never turned out to be Goldfield, anything like Goldfield, but there was this enormous excitement, and stock companies formed, and all these handsome buildings built, but unfortunately the ore played out very fast, and the thing just didn't last, about 5 years at the most, and the thing just almost became a ghost town.
After World War II, most of the gold mines in the country went passive. The price of gold was only $35 an ounce, not giving much incentive to go out and find it. But there was the sense, the feeling that it was still out there.
Well, over the years I've been around, my God, not any place I haven't been. Couldn't believe some of the roads I've driven over.
So prospectors like John kept looking. And then an article by a geologist named Ralph Roberts came out and stirred up some interest.
I was here and finishing up the drilling in 1960. That is when some of the Newmont executives got together and looked at Ralph Roberts' report on this Roberts Mountain thrust, and we decided to pursue this effort of following the Roberts Mountain thrust, hoping to find a disseminated gold deposit. Anyway, I was selected because I was here. This job is finished, so I was selected to be in charge of this project. So we started here, and I got Alan Coop, who has been working on another project, a young geologist, and he was assigned to me. So the two of us started out here, and we simply started prospecting along in this direction, along those hills, following the Roberts Mountain thrust, sampling as we went along, and we finally worked our way up to north of the town of Carlin, which is an area which they call the Lynn Window.